What's up, everybody? Welcome to another live stream. It's been a little while, but we're here on a Friday night. Hopefully, that means the stream will be going gangbusters, as they say. Everybody should kick back, relax, have a beer or 12.
There we go.
Pound some tortas and enjoy the stream today. It's going to be a good one. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of good videos floating out there in the ether right now that I want to react to today. Got that video of Fox News interviewing a bunch of college-age spring breakers that's going viral.
Oh my God.
We got Drewski mocking Erica Kirk. We got Iran putting out some new videos, sort of like cartoon videos talking about the war that are just fire. And we have one of those Iranian diaspora OnlyFans whores who's cheered on the bombing. And I mean, we're laughing now, but it's sad. Her cousin died in Iran, and now she's coping. Like, why doesn't anyone have sympathy for me? And it's like, you cheered on the death of your own cousin in a freaking bikini on the internet because that's what you think freedom is, being a degenerate and commodifying your own body. So anyways, lots of stuff to talk about today. It should be interesting. We already got 5 subs from Lennon Dubois. What a badass name that is, too. That might be, outside of Torta Pounder 5000, I think Lennon Dubois might be my favorite username in the entire Midwestern Marks audience. So, oh, we also have that Choose Your Fighter rally with all of the fake NATO leftists and Hassan. Like, literally, I think of the people on that rally, Hassan Piker is probably the most based, which should tell you something about how bad it is. But then again, that's Hassan's problem. He'll say something based, and then he'll go hang out with the worst people in the world and organize with them while saying that the ACP is a joke or beyond the pale. So anyways, we'll talk about a lot of that. But thank you, Lennon Dubois. Shout out to whoever gets those Midwestern Marks memberships. Enjoy the perks that come with that. You get some emotes and stuff like that. And you're also, if it's a $10 membership, you get access to Carlos's books, both of them, which... not to toot our own horn, but that's I doubt many people on YouTube are giving away that much value for a $10 membership to of the best-selling leftist books of the last decade. And you're working on a new one now. Is that correct, Carlos?
Yes, I am turning my doctoral dissertation from last year into a book, which means I have to go back and re-tankify some sections of it that I needed to maybe put in more neutral and less partisan terms in order to have it pass. But it's going to be good. My thought has also developed in a few areas since then, and there was this weird tension as I was finishing it where my mind was going some areas with some stuff, and I also wanted to get it done and get through with that. So now I have a little bit of time, and I'm going back and I'm trying to make it as best as possible before I launch it. So
it should be really good. Here's the cover. I was surprised. It's the first time I've seen an action war movie as the sequel, or action war book as the sequel to a nonfiction philosophy book. But I'm really interested.
You know, I've been cutting precisely for this photograph. I've cut 30 pounds in the last 4 months, and it was to take this photo shoot right outside of Tehran, where I was at last week fighting against the American imperialists. That's a joke, by the way. Don't raid my house, FBI. But
yeah, and thank you to Comrade Wiggins for taking the trip to Tehran and lighting an Israeli military installment on fire in the background in order to take this picture.
Yeah.
That's also a joke. Please don't arrest Comrade Wiggins.
You know, I saw a guy at Dave's Hot Chicken the other day. I thought was Wiggins, and I almost went up to him, but I chickened out at the end. No pun intended.
Why would he be in? Never mind.
Never mind. Yeah.
Never mind.
On a serious note, my book is on Losordo. It's Losordo has gotten extremely popular in the last few years. I've been reading him before many of the people that are talking about him now even knew he existed, because I read Spanish, and I read his Western Marxism book like 5-6 years ago. And I decided to embark on a project of critically assessing his virtues and the limitations of his critique of Western Marxism. And that's what the book is going to be about. And I think it's indispensable at this moment because there's a very prominent, when it comes to quote unquote Marxist academics on online, tendency of going back to Losordo and praising him and distorting him to fit into their rad lib left liberal frameworks. And so it's very sad what they've done with Losordo. They've turned him into a common shit lib. So it's necessary that someone reassesses his value and also his limitations, because after all of us are thinking as part of this larger project of understanding what the fuck is going on in the world so that we can try to change it in a revolutionary manner. So I look forward to the reception. I hope there's not a conspiracy of silence like there has developed with the purity fetish in the last year plus, because my figure is, of course, tainted. I'm associated with the dirty ACP and the Afro-Asiatic Mongol Hazaldin. but they just can't ignore the truth. It's going to smack them all in the face at some point. So,
yeah. Bro, we should just start weaponizing Haz's identity every day.
Yeah.
Just like, why are you guys racist against the Mongols?
You know what I watch once a day? I swear to you, once a day I watch it. I make my whole family watch it.
I could be way more racist than you.
No, that's once a week. But once a day I watch the intro to the interview I did with him, where I was calling him like metaphor. I was praising him. I was like, you're like the rat from the Ninja Turtles, like the cool rat. And he heard Ninja Turtles, and it just took him back to some fucking comment I don't even remember making in the fucking gym when I went to the gym with him. I do remember making it because I told you about it afterwards. I said something about Ninja Turtles. It's one of the funniest things. Splinter, there you go. I was trying to call him Splinter.
Master Splinter.
Splinter of Infrared. Which technically means I was calling like Grayson a Ninja Turtle, I was calling him like the based rat. And for some reason, I felt like he took it in a racial sense. And I was like, I don't mean that in a racial sense. He was like, that's the most mysterious racist thing anyone's ever told me. But yeah, I watch that once a day just to get in a good mood.
It's good. It's a compliment. But when you say like you're that one rat, it sounds kind of bad.
I had been playing with my kid. I had just brought down the toys from when I was a child to give to my boy. And it's mostly Ninja Turtles. So it was fresh on my mind. I didn't mean anything bad by it, but it was funny.
My brother and I love the Ninja Turtles. Michelangelo. Which one's your favorite? That's a reference to an MMA fighter. He goes.
The Ninja Turtles basically the proletariat. It's like the turtle's this slow animal. You don't think about it much. And here comes the creator, kind of like Marx. Marx saw the proletariat and it was like this lowly animal that, what the fuck are they going to do in terms of world history? And then he says, that's the one that's going to change the world and free everyone. And someone saw a turtle one day and said, let's put 23-inch biceps on them and have them clean up the streets of New York City as they're dishing out pizzas. And they basically became the subject object of history. And so the Ninja Turtles are like the proletariat, and Master Splinter is like Marx.
Absolutely. There's the video.
This is a rat race, but I'm no rat. I'm a fucking turtle. Ninja Turtle. So which one's your favorite? I like Michelangelo.
He's a good guy. A little too much CTE, I think, on old Tony Ferguson. Yep, this guy gets it. Thank you to Abram for becoming a new member. Enjoy the perks that come with that, brother. Appreciate your support. And Zaldivir, quarter pounder with cheese. Absolutely.
If it ain't got cheese, you ain't pounding. That was way too vulgar. I'm so sorry about that.
We got to play the intro now.
Show. We literally clicked the button that's like it's not made for kids, so I guess we're safe. But
we're all right.
Sorry.
We'll cleanse the stream with Lennon real quick, and then we'll be back with some fire segments.
Sheriff Hazard is a what he can, for he's high sheriff hazard. He caught me one evening, and here's what he said: you look like a Russian, you look like a red, and if you're fond of your skin and your head, beware the high sheriff of hazard. The answer is simple, the answer is clear. We all get together, ain't got nothing to fear. We throw the old bastard right out on his ear. Farewell to High Sheriff Hazard.
All right. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to get in a cab and ask the driver where he wants to go. Tony Ferguson is the type of guy to ankle pick the bourgeoisie. He's the type of guy to say champ shit only after abolishing private property. Classic jokes. All right. You want to start with a video, Carlos, or you got any topics you want to discuss first?
Let's do the video.
Okay. We can talk about super imperialism at some point. I've been reading that, and I don't want to spoil too much, but it goes along with the essay series I'm doing on fiat currency. And I was worried that maybe Michael Hudson had already written everything that I was writing about, but I don't think that's the case. I think I'm going to add a few things. Nothing that contradicts him, really, but that I don't want to say goes deeper because he's so much wiser and more experienced than me, but I think it'll be some interesting additions and help people better understand the nature of money today, which is this like really super mysterious thing with the system of finance. But we could talk about that later. First of all, I want to show this. This was so funny, dude. The Iranians are getting so good at this shit. Oops. Let me add this. They made a couple more movies this week. I thought this one was the best. I don't know if this came out of Iran or America, actually, but they use real American actors to play characters, and some of the choices they make, I won't spoil it, but they are funny as hell. So I won't hype it up too much, but without further ado.
Sir, go nuclear. How long do we have? They're 2 weeks away. How 2 weeks away are they? Even more 2 weeks away than they were 5 years ago. My God! That's dangerous levels of 2 weeks away. I know. Son, if anything happens to me, continue my work. We're only 2 weeks away. I will continue, inshallah. Now I'll go to where no one can find me. My office on the 3rd floor, right by that really big window. Vengeance! Sir, if we attack, they will close the Strait of Hormuz. They don't have the balls to close the Strait of Hormuz. They just closed the Strait of Hormuz. And oil is now over $100 a barrel. Please keep me out of this. No one likes this war. And I want to be president one day. Come on, send a boat or something. You're the most powerful military in the world.
Did you read that one? Judi Dench is Keir Starmer. That is the funniest one by far. Maybe Jake Gyllenhaal is the Ayatollah's son. Oh.
You send your own boats. That was a test. Ha! You fell right into my trap. Sometimes the best reason for war is no reason at all.
Straight out of Hormuz.
Oh my god. You know what? That spits in the face of all these fucking idiotic leftists that every time we post something, a voiceover on ACP made on Instagram, our comment sections get flooded with, "Oh, you're a leftist, but you're using AI? Are you using AI? Give us $10 billion to contract fucking artists to do the same thing that we do in like an hour. So we can pay them to do that. Because what the fuck?" So out of official entities, the US government, Iran, and the ACP use AI. Venezuela as well use AI for their propaganda. So serious company.
Yeah. I saw a fitness influencer, very rich one, Jeff Nippard. He used the video effect. It just made him fat and then skinny, and it was like 2 seconds. And someone in the comment was like, "Don't use AI." And he responded, "I would never replace my workers with AI. One of my workers worked 8 hours on this effect, a 2-second effect." And I was like, maybe you should just use AI, bro. But at the same time, I mean, I respect him for paying his workers, but not everyone has that kind of money from doing like slop science-based lifting content where you're just overcomplicating the basics of weightlifting and putting it out in a well-produced format because you can pay editors around the clock. But anyways, I think that's like a super effective form of propaganda. Like the Iranians roast the Americans about their obsession with movies. But it's clear that they actually understand that Americans are actually obsessed with movies and propagandized by them. That's why they did the Lego movie thing and other things like that. One of my favorite quotes of all time was after they killed Qasem Soleimani with a drone strike out of nowhere, the guy who was fighting ISIS and Al-Qaeda in the region. The Iranians were like, "How are we supposed to retaliate? The Americans don't have heroes. Are we supposed to kill SpongeBob or Spider-Man?" It's like one of the best quotes ever. But it's true. It's true. We've been deprived of any like real heroes. Our intellectual heroes are people like Jordan Peterson who are telling you to clean their room while they snort benzos in the back and, you know, do shit scholarship for libertarian think tanks.
Or when the lady, I don't know if it was recently or if it was just recently resurfaced, I think the lady was getting interviewed and she said, you know, the American people, as Alexis de Tocqueville wrote, or something like that. I'm sure they're familiar with Alexis de Tocqueville, and the comments were like, no one knows who that is. No one has read
Alexis de Tocqueville, who I'm sure most Americans have read.
Yeah.
All the Americans are like, LOL.
That's a sad state of affairs when people in other countries know about people who've written about your country, like staple books, better than you do.
It is a sad
De Tocqueville also wrote a great text about the French Revolution. And in that text is where he makes a point, which is very interesting. I think we saw it in terms of the Soviet Union, but in many different examples. That often what happens when a society is collapsing is that they'll try to give people a lot of the reforms that they ask for or whatever. I guess the Soviet Union wouldn't be a good example, but they try to give people a lot of reforms to fix things. And the more you try to reform, the more it accelerates the understanding in the people that it just has to go, fundamentally go, period.
Mm.
And there was a moment in time where I remember Haas mentioned an analysis similar to that in China, and I was like, oh, that's the Tocqueville. Very nice. The like 3 Americans who could probably cite the Tocqueville in the country.
You're telling me your students aren't pulling out de Tocqueville in class?
Well, unless like fucking Sexy Red cites him in the next hit song, I don't think they're gonna get anywhere near poor old Alexis.
Maybe they've read some Dr. Seuss. Speaking
No.
of which, I think that's a good transition to our next video. What's going on here? Why can't I access? Oh, here we go. I thought my TikTok got taken down for a second. We're almost at 400K on TikTok, folks. Me and Haas did a debate stream the other day. It was one of my favorite streams we've ever done. It was so fun.
Hilarious.
We just debated all these TikTok people. The Twitter spaces have been really dry because all of our haters are cowards and don't want to debate. So we got all these random people, and then some Pakistani guy at the end came on and asked us to play I Got a Feeling and dance to the entire song and grab his ceiling fan and spun himself in a circle like so fast it was unbelievable. He was fucking whipping around in that ceiling fan. It's like, I got a feeling. I was crying. I had tears coming out of my eyes. It was so fun.
It was so fucking funny. I watched it live and it was the best thing. And you know, I was waiting for him to put a la Cosmo Xi Jinping. I would have liked to see how he would have danced to that. But he put the fucking Black Eyed Peas, Tonight's Gonna Be a Good Night, which pisses me off for a very private reason. If anyone is in contact with Haas, ask him about that song. Ask him about that song and the tremendous injustice he has done to me by appropriating that song. It's like an unheard of injustice, an insane injustice. Someone ask him, whoever has access to him and fucking the infrared Discord, ask him how that song and his appropriation of it is a tremendous injustice to Comrade Garrido.
I'm going to ask him. He better not hate the Black Eyed Peas. They're great. Will.i.am, Fergie. Fergie's the best. She carried the team. But anyways, this is a Fox News segment they did. They went and interviewed spring breakers about their views on politics. And, you know, a lot of people were saying Fox News is bullshit. This is fake. You know, these are hired actors. I'm telling you guys, they're not. Right? I work with college and high school kids for a living outside of doing this. This is not fake. I'm doing my best to get my kids more intellectually invested in the world around them, as is Carlos. But our population and our youth has been systematically dumbed down to an absurd point, to a point where it's very, very sad, actually. So check this out. So Fox News recently interviewed a bunch of college-age spring breakers about their views on American politics, and it is one of the most embarrassing videos that America has ever produced. Go ahead and watch this and try not to throw your phone through a fucking window.
What issue facing America is the most important to you?
What bikini I'm gonna wear next? Obesity is terrible.
Ice. Not personally. I'm legal.
I'm thinking about Starbucks, to be honest. I'm thinking about Starbucks, what I'm gonna get for today. We're going to war.
It pisses me off every time. And the other aspect of this that I don't talk about in the video is these are petty bourgeois kids going to spring break on their parents' money and getting hammered. I went on spring break. I always went camping in the mountains with my friends on spring break because I didn't have the money to do this shit.
War with Iraq. That's been crazy.
What do you do in Colombia? You got Maduro out?
You must be happy.
I'm very happy.
The Ayatollah's dead.
What? Who? What? What is that?
Who the is Ayatollah?
I've never heard that word in my life.
Lewis, what's Ayatollah?
I haven't heard. I found out about Chuck Norris yesterday.
You know, it's times like these where I'm like, let's just bring back re-education camps. And everyone will laugh at these kids. Oh, they're so stupid. But you know what? This reflects a systemic problem in America, especially with our education system. Like, this is intentional. The ruling elite has purposefully dumbed down our populace because it makes them easier to control. They feed us Starbucks and stupid-ass Netflix shows and defund public education, and this is the result. A population of people who think we're at war with Iraq and Colombia while we bomb civilians in Venezuela and Iran. I know that it doesn't have to be this way because my girlfriend teaches English remotely to young students in China. And the average Chinese elementary schooler is about 13 times smarter than every college student you saw in that last video. The other day, she was teaching them Dune, and one of the 12-year-olds asked, "Hey, teacher, why do they have a feudal economic and political system in Dune when the advance of technology and the means of production should have made it so that they could advance towards a capitalist market economy?" That's the kind of thing that 12-year-olds are thinking about in China, whereas American college students don't even know what. True story, by the way, and it was like a long, well-written post in English when this kid is Chinese and English is his second language. So that's the level of ignorance we're at compared to the rest of the world, or not the rest of the world, but, you know, socialist republics like China or even Iran. What those words mean. The ruling class has dumbed our population down to the point where we are literally a global embarrassment. You can fight back against that by putting down the booze and picking up a damn book. Do not allow our country to be this much of a disgrace. Or picking up the booze and picking up a book.
Uncle Carlos, that's what Uncle Carlos would recommend.
It's
no,
crazy.
but it's so insane, bro. I go through this, and I've been teaching at a university level for like 7 years now. I've seen it develop, and it gets worse and worse every year. And every semester, you're in a class, and you're looking for like at least one person, one or two people that are not just complete like simple jack, that help to carry.
I got a good brain.
That help to carry the rest of the class. And if you don't got that, oh my God, there's nothing more spiritually depressing than having a class that you can ask them the easiest fucking questions or references, and they're just not. Oh my God, he's pulling up Simple Jack. They're just not gonna get it. And I've been grateful to have one class this semester that's like the kids are fucking super bright, everyone's sharp, and another one that's the opposite. And last semester I had one that was the same way. And when you have sharp students, teaching is the most rewarding fucking thing in the world. When you don't, when you feel like you're teaching to that fucking, was it Ed, and Eddie, where you have like the wood stick and with the little eyes?
Like,
You're just teaching to like 14 of those. It fucking makes you, it makes you want to do something that I'm not gonna say on YouTube because maybe the Zionists clip it in the future. And but anyways, it's that fucking spring break video depicts where a lot of the youth, and it's always people that are like economically good enough to continue partying, right? The poorer kids, the kids that are struggling, that are from the hood, those are usually the sharpest. But the kids that have just enough to continue partying and to be oblivious to what's going on around the world, those are the ones that are like fucking simple jacks.
and someone said some of these kids will never go for it. Someone said these kids will be politicians. It's true. Like, maybe not those kids specifically, but like these are the kind of failed children who have inherited the American empire. And people wonder like why the American empire is so dumb. Because like in the 50s and 40s and 60s, like they were still evil, but they were smarter. They were more intelligent. But like their kids have inherited all that wealth and inherited the power to the point where everyone's now comparing our government to like the government from the movie Idiocracy, where you have like Trump, this like burger eating, parody of a politician. And, all these people around him like Marco Rubio, who there are pictures of him in like gay nightclubs in Miami in the 90s. Like they just party and drink. You have a drunk Pete Hegseth, going up like day drinking and then giving speeches about bombing Iran and just super callous about like death and the loss of human life. Like these are the kind of idiots who are running our government. So
it's like Andrew Johnson. I don't know if you got to the part of Black Reconstruction where he starts talking about Johnson, and Du Bois quotes someone in there who said of Johnson when pressed to give like a good character trait of his, the only thing he was able to say is that somehow he kept it together while being drunk the whole time.
That's Pete Hegseth, bro.
Yeah.
Pete Hegseth and Brett Kavanaugh and Kash Patel are just like pounding beers backstage.
Yeah.
And coming out and then they go into their meetings like, what are we gonna fucking do? We're getting destroyed. And it is sad because the American youth have been robbed of their intellect. We talked on the last stream about the loss of human potential under capitalism. I mean, what a perfect example this is. You know, if you put these kids in a gulag, maybe they could actually produce something for society, but instead they're partying it up and giving each other AIDS on the beach.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. The American youth has been robbed of their intellect. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Abram. I appreciate the super chat. So, yeah, that's the state of America today, and it's our job to educate, you know. When I see videos like that, too, I better understand people like Kala Walsh who are like, death to America, like, burn the whole thing down. Yeah. I'm like, listen, I get it, but we have to educate these people, and not everyone is like this. And what's interesting, too, is that people think Trump's base is the proletariat. The proletariat is like mainly people who are like, I just didn't like Joe Biden, right? Or I voted for Obama twice and he let me down. And Trump said he was going to end the wars and bring the jobs back. So I voted for Trump. That's Trump's proletarian base. His cultist, steadfast donor base and voter base is petty bourgeois. It's small business owners who are wealthy, or the kind of people who send their kids to spring break.
The white lumpen too.
Yes,
the white lumpen.
Red Maze with the 100. Holy shit! Thank you. Red Maze just pops in every once in a while to give us like the biggest super chat of all time. I've got a drone in the corner of my room right now that we use for ACP videos because he donated it on one stream.
He's like our version of the fucking Argentinian that funded the Frankfurt School when it was the Institute for Social Research in Frankfurt. There was like one wealthy socialist Argentinian that just started throwing money at a bunch of Marxist think tanks.
He's Ingalls.
Yeah.
Red Maze is officially Ingalls. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that a ton. Longtime supporter of the show as well. That 100 goes a long way to paying our bills and continuing to produce the content that we do. It's the reason I'm not in a moldy house that's going to take 10 years off my life anymore. Dude, I walked back into my old house to like grab some stuff that we left over there this week, and like, this place reeks like mold, and I had just become accustomed to it from living there. So thank you guys for getting me out of that moldy house. And because I live in Iowa, the house I'm at now is only like $200 more, and it's a pretty beautiful apartment.
Bro, my apartment, when we were neighbors, my apartment there, Eddie, by the way, he lived right in front of me, like literally right in front of me for years before we ever met. But the apartment that I lived at with my wife, it got so bad in terms of mold that I would take off my sweaty baseball shirt, put it on the chair, shower, and then come back and it'd be filled with mold. And the day that it happened and it was like extremely noticeable, I was like, all right, I have to like threaten to sue this fucking shitty landlord.
There's slumlords around here, bro. They'll just buy up like 50 houses and let them go to shit. That was my old place too. Okay, we don't have to play Simple J. Maybe at the end of the stream as a treat. But I thought this was an interesting clip. I got to run to the bathroom quick. I'll let this play while I do because I've already seen this. But it's Whitney Webb talking about Joe Kent, right? And while I do think ultimately right now it's a good thing what Joe Kent is doing, like leaving the establishment and calling them out over the Iran war, she thinks that it might be part of a psyop and evolve into something else. And this is what I've been worried about. This is why I haven't been like, you rah-rah, go Joe Kent. Because he's an intelligence officer who has had some very contradictory opinions on U.S. foreign wars and things like that. So I'm worried about what his actual intentions are and who's actually calling the shots there. And Whitney Webb talks about that here. And Whitney Webb has been right about freaking everything for the last couple of years now. So this was on the Jimmy Dore show, which I think is good because Jimmy, obviously Jimmy's just a comedian, you know, he's not like an intellectual. So he was just happy to see the Joe Kent thing. But here she kind of warns him, like, careful that you don't fall into some kind of a psyop.
Yeah, so with Joe Kent, he's a intelligence officer and top CIA guy. I think a lot of stuff is going on right now, and I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it. But I think people should be careful in trusting former, quote unquote, former spooks who come out of nowhere and are saying what you want to hear right away, because a lot of times what happens is that these figures will do that to build up trust with the public, and then they'll misdirect you somewhere else if you're not careful. So I would advise vigilance and critical thinking, which is often in short supply but should not be, about that figure in particular. But I think
you think there might be some kind of a long game plan with Joe Kent?
Oh yeah.
So I've heard this argument, and that don't take him as face value, that they're just setting him up to be the next Trump or JD Vance or something, and then he's going to do all the horrible thing. So it's very possible, but I don't know how it'll go. Let me give you an example of why I'm really skeptical of him. Okay.
So when Trump was, I encourage people to go back and look at the first iteration of the Trump administration to understand what's happening now. And since my career in journalism began during Trump's first term, I thankfully remember a good amount of it. About a year before the January 6th event, there was this DHS official, and this is the Trump administration, Elizabeth Newman, I think her name was. She was basically saying, there's going to be a domestic terror event. We can see it building, but we can't quite stop it. It's another 9/11. Oh, no. If only we had more surveillance powers and whatever, we could maybe stop this other imminent 9/11, whatever. And so basically in that hearing, it was a hearing where she was testifying, top officials from DHS and other intelligence agencies were basically painting who is the up-and-coming domestic terrorist profile in the United States. What Americans are domestic terrorists. And so basically, I really wish I could remember the specific name of the hearing to direct people to that, because it is on C-SPAN still. But basically, the profile they gave were anti-Semitic Trump supporters or anti-Semitic right-leaning populists. So okay. I worry when people from that exact nexus that existed in Trump 1 come out and are trying to get right-leaning populists in particular to do things that the Trump administration itself, even if no one else agrees with the definition, would define as anti-Semitic. So explain that again to me, because you lost me a little bit right at the end. So you're saying that. Okay, so basically the first Trump administration defined the rising domestic terror threat, because after 9/11, they've been building all this infrastructure for a war on domestic terror. Right. Every administration has advanced it, Democrat and Republican. Yes. So who are they saying the domestic terrorists are? Anti-Semitic right-leaning populists. And so do you think Joe Kent is one of those? Well, so before this era, they had the domestic terror threat they were trying to put in front of you were obviously these groups of like feds, like Patriot Front and the Proud Boys and all of that. Okay, so how if you can't fake the demographic, how do you engineer the demographic? And so you think does that make sense? So basically, if you have Trump officials that are part of this apparatus claiming right-leaning anti-Semites are domestic terrorists that need to be targeted by this infrastructure and the surveillance infrastructure and pre-crime and all of that that's been a part of this buildup of the war on domestic terror, And then you have people coming out and being like, we're going to blame, saying what people want to hear, because obviously Israel absolutely is intimately involved with getting us involved in the Iran war. But the other side of it is you signal boost that with people like Joe Kent, potentially, and then you have people sort of muddy the waters between Israel and all Jewish people, which is not fair. And then you can have the Trump administration swoop in and, look at Alexis Wilkins. Foreign government operators are driving these narratives. It's like reverse Russiagate.
And this isn't too far off of what we were saying in some of our private discussions about what's going on right now, where they're going to try to push people away from class politics into like anti-Semitic Hitlerism, basically, and then use the domestic terror apparatus to crack down on those people and jail those people and sort of crush those sort of movements, or even allow those movements to come to power, maybe. And that'll be ineffective, because if you leave the U.S. banking class in power the same way that Hitler did, leaving the monopolies and the bankers in power and waging wars on their behalf, but you just defund Israel, like, yeah, that would be good. You get rid of Israel, this sort of cancer on humanity. But at the end of the day, it's the financial elites who are calling the shot. And this is where these JQers are wrong, that, Israel just runs everything and it's the Jews holding everything by puppet strings. So if you can kind of push people into that ideology and away from class politics, they're going to, and this has always been the critique of, or the Marxist critique of this ideology, that's the socialism of fools. What these people actually want is communist class struggle, but they get propagandized out of it by right-wing anti-Israel populists or anti-Jewish populists who co-opt the rhetoric of socialists and sort of move the goalposts to a place that is, in the end, not actually going to solve any of our problems.
And we've known this from the beginning. I mean, we saw this coming from many miles ahead. Israel, as we have been saying from the fucking start, is a colonial outpost, which means that it's not that Israel controls America. It's America props up Israel, and Israel's an extension of the power of American imperialism. And sure, at a very subjective level of politicians and their loyalties, something like AIPAC plays a certain role, but that is one component within this larger systematic apparatus where the specific role that Israel has is as an appendage, as a central sphere of influence in West Asia for the American empire. We've been saying this absolutely from the start. And the people that don't treat it like that, the people that want us to point in the opposite direction and say, oh, it's Israel that controls America, or it's the Jews, we've seen from the start that that's just a very convenient scapegoat, so that we can look away from class politics, so that we can look away from U.S. imperial power, so that when the U.S. does something fucked up through Israel, it can just blame it on Israel, so that Israel carries the blame, when in reality, Israel, you can't separate the U.S. from Israel because it's an extension of American imperialism. So we've known this from the start. The thing is that you have to participate in discourse as it exists and in the terms in which it exists. And amongst us Marxists, we say things very clearly, but out in the open discourse, when people are talking about Israel controlling America, the rational kernel there is we don't have sovereignty. Yeah, we don't fucking have sovereignty in this country. The American people do not have sovereignty. But it's not because Israel controls America. It's because America is the hub, the center of the system of global financial capitalist imperialism. And no country that's within that sphere has sovereignty, not because they're controlled by the Jews or by Israel, but because the system is one in which capital is in command. Capital has no fucking country that it is loyal to. As Sean Fain, I'm mixing the two, O'Brien, I think, the Teamsters one, as he said at the Republican National Convention when he spoke, the capitalists have no country that they're patriotic to. They're just patriotic to capital. And so we can't have sovereignty under a capitalist system. It's impossible for there to be any actual self-determination of people as a nation or as a civilization when capitalism is in command. And saying, no, it's Israel, it's a way of scapegoating the fact that it's the fucking system. It's the system. And both countries play a part in that larger system.
Right. If you read Hudson's Super Imperialism or my essay series on fiat currency, you realize that since the end of World War I, but especially since the US dollar was detached from the gold standard, all the power is in the hands of the banks and the US government and apparatuses like the Fed. Because of the US dollar, the US is the only country that's allowed to run unlimited deficits, and all these other countries become completely dependent on the US dollar. So they basically get flooded with US dollars that they then put back into US banks, which are recycled and turned into more US dollars. And Israel is dependent on that system too. I don't know what the hell Israeli currency is called, but that's not at the center of global finance. It's these bankers who are, centered in the US and in some sense the UK, but even the UK is completely dependent on the US and completely because the US didn't forgive their debts after World War I. It basically made all of Europe a colony to the United States. And Israel is no different. And yes, Israel uses blackmail and all these other methods to control US politicians. But the reason that they do that is because they know the U.S. could cut off funding at any point. So they're trying to give themselves a blanket of security so that the U.S. won't say, fuck you, and blame them for all the problems and cut off funding, which they won't, because it's in the U.S.'s geopolitical strategic interest to have Israel as a colony in the Middle East. We're far from the point where they would just cut off funding and blame them for everything. But it's not Israel that's in control. It's the big banks, and it's Israel who does the interest of those big banks in the region. We saw in Lebanon recently, there was this nationalized bank that offered interest-free loans, so financing that's separate from the U.S. Global financial system that Israel bombed on the U.S.'s behalf. Iran bans usury, and all of Iran's banks are in the hands of the state, meaning they're not in the hands of these Western finance capitalists. And look what country that Israel is targeting and the U.S. is targeting, Iran. And yes, there are geopolitical and military and strategic reasons for that outside of finance, but the main one is finance and economics. It always is. So, I just thought that was really interesting there. And I think it speaks to what the U.S. strategy is now and what's going to come next after Trump. The way they're going to try to control all of this dissident anti-establishment energy in the country.
And what's interesting about it is how when trying to do one thing, you produce its opposite effect, right? It's a cursed dialectic of something turning into its opposite, because I'm sure that a lot of people that are falling for this do actually think that they're dissident. They are dissatisfied with the way that things are, and they want to challenge it. And it's a very simple narrative to accept. Oh, it's Israel. Let's get rid of that, and then everything's fine and dandy. But it's precisely through that form of apparent dissidence that you're able to reproduce the established order, that you're able to continue defending hegemony and the way that things are and the ruling establishment and the system ultimately.
Absolutely. And thank you, Jason, Midwestern Marks member, 2 super chats. Israel is a giant U.S. aircraft carrier in the Middle East. Basically, that's essentially what it is. And yeah, I've always said there's a dialectical sort of relationship going on where Israel does, of course, influence U.S. policy. Israel and the Israeli lobby, of course, did lobby for the war in Iraq and Iran and had an influence in bringing those about. AIPAC is a powerful lobby. But as I've always said, there's also the weapons lobby, right? There's all sorts of lobbies. There's also big tech in Silicon Valley that has all this power and controls the media. And a lot of the people who own those corporations and own those big banks aren't Jewish. And maybe they're blackmailed by Jeffrey Epstein. And that's how Israel can exert influence over them. But Israel's just trying to cover its own hide, right? It's not the master puppeteer calling all of the shots. And we saw the other day, what did Trump do? when Israel bombed an oil field in Iran that led to, retaliatory strikes on the Gulf states, which elevated gas prices here at home. Trump got on Truth Social and he blamed Israel, right? He threw them under the bus. And that's, the Israeli officials are probably finding out right now, like, oh shit, these guys are the ones who are really in charge. And if you talk to like a few years ago, when I was still learning about the Israel issue, I got on a Zoom call with some IDF guys. And you know how people from Israel are. They all look like they have Down syndrome. Please don't ban me for that, YouTube. But they're like, we don't need American money. You can cut off all the money right now. We'd be fine. We're fighting stupid primitive Arabs, right? And they're finding out now as they get lit up by Iranian missiles that is not the case. They're the U.S.'s little baby boy. And they've always needed British and U.S. funding. And the blackmail and AIPAC and the Israeli influence over the United States is intended to make sure that funding continues. And I don't know, Down syndrome isn't the right word. They all look like they're inbred. That's an insult because people with Down syndrome are awesome. They all look fucking inbred and disgusting, and they're the most arrogant, narcissistic people on earth. But yeah, a lot of them truly believe that. But the higher ups know what's up. The higher ups know that without that, billions of dollars in U.S. subsidies and loans every year, they would be cooked.
It's funny you mentioned inbred when you were talking about Kala Walsh earlier, and how she feels about the American people. The scene that came to mind was The Wolf of Wall Street, when he's asking, I forget the fucking actor's name, Jonah Hill. He's asking Jonah Hill if it's not likely that the kid is going to come out with problems, considering his wife is his cousin or something. And he's like, what would happen if it comes out with problem? He's like, I'll go to the forest and just say, you're free, just go on. It's kind of what Kala Walsh has done with the American people. Like, you're free, go ahead.
You're free. You're
inbred. And we're like the caretakers. We're like, yes, it's a population with issues, but we have to take care of them because they're our inbred child.
A good analogy.
Yeah.
There are simple Jack.
There are simple Jack, yes.
So did you see that poll recently that said Trump's support is still at 100% among MAGA? I'm in MAGA country, of course. I can tell you for a fact that is not the case. Maybe it's different in the South, where they're a little bit more high on the inbred scale. But in the Midwest, a lot of people are turning on Trump. Not the evangelicals, of course. Those people are just cooked. We just got to wait for them to die. But a lot of the blue collar people, and especially young people and independents, are like, what the hell is this? This is not who I voted for. And even at CPAC, I'll just play it for you guys. This is unbelievable, actually. I was pretty stunned when I saw this. This is at the conservative convention or whatever, where they meet every year. All these people are Republicans, and not even poor working class Republicans, but rich Republicans. Listen to how they respond to this guy's question.
How many of you would like to see impeachment hearings? No. That was the wrong answer. Let me try it again. How many of you would like to see impeachment hearings? No.
Oh, boy.
Can someone bring some coffee out for the
no, I know.
We've got to keep this House majority. How many of you agree with that?
The people still cheered the second time. You still hear people go, woo, impeach his ass. Which goes to show even where the Republican base is at. I've seen polls that say the war with Iran has as little as 20% support among the American population. I mean, if you support it, you weren't listening to Trump on the campaign trail. That was the spearhead of his campaign, especially in 2015. He was railing against the Bush administration, railing against the war in Iraq, railing against neoconservatism. These people expected him to transform the party from a, Israeli cucked freaking pro-war party to a populist right party. And he's done the opposite. He surrounded himself with neoconservatives and Bush administration officials both times that he was in office. And now people in his own party want him impeached, apparently. Even people who are at an event like CPAC.
Yeah, I don't understand how there's people that were genuinely MAGA that could support Trump today. The problem is that I'm sure that when a lot of them stop supporting Trump, they stop calling themselves MAGA. We've seen a lot of videos of people that, as a symbolic gesture of moving away from Trump, they'll like toss out the MAGA hat or something like that, or burn it. So it's a problem of like classification. But most young people, working class people, as you said, that were pro-Trump, that were pro-Trump in a very political sense, like the people that we talked about as MAGA when Haas develops MAGA communism, which was the people that express a certain form of partisanship, a very hyper-political consciousness of being against the established parameters of acceptable politics. Those people have now broken with Trump. Absolutely. The question is, where are they going? A lot of them are captured under Nick Fuentes, and now he's telling them to vote for the Democrats. Some of them, I'm sure, probably went apolitical. Some of them are part of the Sneeko base that's still critical of Fuentes. Some of them perhaps are in the ACP, not
Professor
many.
Jiang.
Yep. Some of them are getting captured by, I'm not going to say what I was going to say, by this fucking pseudo-intellectual ChatGPT excuse for a human. And I even when he was popular, you can ask Eddie, I've been sending it to the group chats, like, I think this guy's a fucking idiot. Because it's like,
Iran, okay?
Iran, and they are a Muslim. And here's Israel. They Jewish. Pax Judaica. So get the fuck out of here. Pseudo torta pounder. He's never added cheese to it.
I've arrived. Haas sent us a voice message the other day mimicking Professor Zhang.
Hilarious.
One of the funniest voice messages I've ever heard in my life. Iran, okay? Iran. Right to Ron.
For someone who hates stand-up comedy, he'd be so good at like impressions.
It's because he knows that he could do it better, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just I don't know though. Shane Gillis is something else. That guy cracks me the fuck up, dude.
Yeah.
So funny. His bit about going to the George Washington Museum, and they're like, George Washington wore the teeth of his slaves, and he's like, oh shit. And then they're like, and he stormed the Delaware and took those British out, and he's like, hell yeah, I'm back on board. It's like so funny, but it's perfect. It's what we always talk about with national historical nihilism, like recapturing the progressive side of our country's history. And taking away the slave teeth wearing, if that's true. I don't know if that's true, but yeah. So
it wasn't pain. He has a famous quote that he's like, I really hope God's not real because I'm fucked. It's not like Trump saying, I don't think I'm getting into heaven.
Yes. We'll play the Drewski Erica Kirk video, of course. We're gonna get demonetized for that, but I don't care. He makes Erica Kirk dance to T Grizzly. It's so funny. But I wanted to show this first. Here's this. So by the way, this guy's a wrestler. You guys should follow him, Dylan Palacio. He's very good. He was a national semifinalist. Should have been a national finalist. He kind of got robbed in the semis. But he follows me on Twitter now. We're becoming friends because he's super based politically. And he posted this video of this OnlyFans Persian girl saying, all Iranians right now. Yes, all Iranians. I represent Iran from California with my OnlyFans account. She was dancing. And then this week, after cheering on the bombing, her cousin was killed by U.S. and Israeli bombs. And of course, she spins it to be like, this is the fault of the Islamic regime. It's like, I got a super viral response to this saying, no, your cousin was killed unnecessarily by the U.S. and Israel. You cheered it on, and you have to live with that for the rest of your life. And I hope you can't sleep at night knowing that you cheered on the bombing of your own family member, because you're not actually Iranian. You're an American. And the people who are actually living in Iran who didn't want this are now the ones facing the bombs that you cheered on in your fucking whore outfit. I'm sorry to be harsh or misogynistic or whatever, but these people are so disgusting. These people make me sick, sitting in this degenerate OnlyFans American culture, cheering on the bombing of their innocent relatives who actually live in Iran, whilst claiming that they speak for the whole fucking country. No, you don't, you stupid bitch. No, you do not. You live in America. What do you mean as an Iranian? Shut your fucking whore mouth. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. Look at this cute picture of her cousin who she helped to get killed. Fuck this lady. This is genuinely crazy. What the hell? Yeah, it's one. So that's what I said. And it's blowing up a little bit. This has got to be one of the wildest things I've seen all year. This lady was cheerleading the bombing of Iran, then one of the bombs killed her cousin, and she logged back on to ask for sympathy and claim that the world is ignoring her struggle. You seriously cannot make this shit up. If you ever think that a U.S.-led regime change war might help your country, you should remember this story. And now she wants to cope about, oh, the people are ignoring my struggle. Bitch, you cheered on the death of your cousin in a mini skirt because you claim this is a rescue mission. What kind of rescue mission bombs innocent civilians, you moron? Fucking delete your account.
And there's something we say about the Cuban so-called diaspora. At this point, they're just fucking American as well. But they're the worst enemy of real Cubans. These so-called diasporas are the worst enemy of the people from their country because they're the ones that are most militantly antagonistic to the sovereignty that these countries want to defend. They're the first ones supporting. I mean, there was, I think it was Miguel Diaz-Balart, I forget the fucking guy. There was like a mayor in Miami that during July 2021 was like, bombings are not off the table. Like the dude literally wanted to bomb Cuba. Cuba's being starved. It's basically a fucking genocide right now with no oil. It's horrible situation, and all of these fucking people defend it. And it's the same thing with these disgusting Iranian quote unquote diaspora people.
Sitting in American cafes, sipping their freaking Starbucks while their cousins get bombed. And then they don't, of course, no accountability taken. This is the Islamic regime's fault. Shut the hell up. Your cousin was safe under the Islamic regime. Now they're dead, and it's your fault. Have fun sleeping at night. I hope your OnlyFans is doing well, you fucking piece of shit.
And it's always sexualized. You notice that? With Iran, it's always sexualized. It's like they literally feed into the meme, whether they know it or not, that for them, liberation is being able to fucking strip for money and be, for lack of a better word, whores, prostitutes, a more PC word. I don't know what fucking word you want me to use, but that's literally how they think of freedom. Just is that what freedom is? Iran is the country that has afforded women more education than I think any other country. They have a higher rate of women professionals,
scientists, more female scientists than I think any country on earth.
By any meaningful standard of like what women are able to do in meaningful careers, Iran is like a feminist paradise because women have some of the most important and meaningful careers in Iran. But no, they don't get to fucking strip naked. So they're unfree. It's absurd. Even the hijab issue, which is a cultural thing, right? But how many videos are there of the late now martyred Khamenei, of him saying, you know, improper hijab or no hijab, these are still our children, like whatever. And there were so many women in the streets of Iran all of these days protesting against these bombings without the hijab, saying, you know, Khamenei said we're all his daughters. Yeah, I'm getting choked up just thinking about it, but it's like this, I mean, under the name of this bullshit bourgeois feminism, they support literally destroying a civilization that has uplifted objectively women in any meaningful capacity that you can think of when it comes to empowering one group or another.
Yeah, I mean the hijab law is, I mean, it depends on where you're at, but it's not that serious either. Like Americans travel to Iran and they'll tell you that. Like there are cafes where you'll see like blue-haired liberal chicks, as baristas. Like, we're told the morality police is all over everybody and beating them to death if they don't wear the hijab. It's not the reality. And the truth is that a lot of women see wearing the hijab as an act of rebellion against the imperialists and these OnlyFans girls who are cheering on their bombing, because they see America as such a degenerate society where women are forced into prostitution, commodifying, sexualizing, and selling their bodies on the internet for money. And they say, in our society, you don't have to do that. You can be a scientist. You can be an educator. You can be a professional, because we actually uplift women. So I wear this hijab as an act of resistance against degenerate American culture. And if you think about it that way, it's actually pretty great, especially when you see these girls half naked cheering on the bombing of their own family members who are still in Iran while claiming to speak for the whole country of Iran. I mean, I'm from a Christian background, but at this point, let's bring hijabs here. Put it in the program.
I'm done. You know what? I'll take you one further. Burqas.
Here you go. Like
Full
Jolani's wife, the Great Free Republic of Syria, where an Al-Qaeda member who makes his wife wear slits over her eyes is now the leader, which goes to show you the hypocrisy.
Historically, the only women that were allowed to do that were married women. Not married women were not supposed to wear that. And if you were a non-married woman and they caught you wearing one, you would get beaten. So it was the other way around, right? You wouldn't get beaten if you didn't wear it. You would get beaten if you wore it and you weren't supposed to. Graeber talks about that in his book on debt. But before we get to that, I want to say, Victoria Bryant, shout out to you. I don't know if we have a chapter in Alabama yet. I know we have probably a couple people there. But join and help us create one. Get a couple friends in the party. Talk to your neighbors, your coworkers. Get them in the party. The reserve status is a very low ask, and it's a great way to help the party. They don't have to be cadres. As long as we have, I think, 3 or 4 in each state, you can get a chapter up and going. And, you can consult help from local chapters in order to do the sort of projects that you would see yourself doing locally. So,
yeah, we should explain this because a lot of people ask this, and I don't know if they know how it works. Don't wait for a pre-existing chapter to be there, because the way it works is once enough people from Alabama join, then an Alabama chapter is created and you can elect an executive, your leader, and a central committee member, which is another leadership body in the party. So by you joining, you would be helping further along the process of creating I don't know if we have one yet or not. We might already have one in Alabama. But either way, if we don't and you join, that could be that could push Alabama over the threshold to the point where they do have a party. And there are, in the Deep South, I know there are multiple chapters, and I'm sure they'd be willing to travel to Alabama to help you with community organizing events, or you could travel to them. Or as Carlos said, you could just be a reserve and give the party $10-15 a month or whatever it is, and help us out that way before you.
And you would still, even if there's no chapter, you would still be connected with whatever other reserves are in Alabama, and you'd be able to work with them together on doing stuff. And when you get enough people through those works, which again, as Eddie said, you can have other people from other chapters come as well and do it, then the chapter forms. It's a matter of, don't hesitate, just jump in and do it, because as Halali said in one of the most motivational videos he's ever done, look in the mirror. You are the one we have been waiting for. That goes for everyone. If you haven't joined the party and you're in the U.S., join the fucking party. And if you're out of the U.S. and you want to help the party and you want to help bring about communism in America, the best you could do is subscribe to the Journal, because it's another way of financially helping the party. The party doesn't have – there's no angles for the party. The party has no angles. The party has no Fergie Chambers, and there's no –
We only have Red Maze.
We only have Red Maze, yeah.
No Neville Royce Singham.
No Singham, right? The only way to fund the party is through popular grassroots support, and a great way to do that, especially for our friends, who have $15 to spare monthly abroad, is through subscribing to the journal, and it's not just a fucking donation. You're getting access to, not to toot our own horns, but I think probably the best Marxist-Leninist journal in the English-speaking world, period.
Yeah. By the way, your Midwestern Marx Patreon support and super chats indirectly serve the party too, just to put that out there. Like, they help us, of course, but there are a lot of party expenses that I'm just like, put it on the Midwestern Marx tab. I don't know how many subscriptions and softwares and things we have now, or things that I've paid for, and other members of the party have paid for out of their pockets. But yeah, the more reserve members we have too, the less we have to do that, and the more we can put into actual Midwestern Marx outreach, which in turn filters people into the party. Yeah. In Alabama, she was swinging a hammer.
Sweet home Alabama. I'm whiter than you. I went to like fucking real country.
Later, might be. That's true. Now that you've spent more time in that part of the country than me, you might be whiter than me.
I'm out whiting. The
whites. The whites. It's funny when there's like all these like white supremacist guys who are like, you know, I'll admit Haas is really smart and really funny. I'm like, then why are you racist? Like, yes, he is smarter than you. He is hilarious. He is a great leader. Why are you still racist? Why do you want him deported? I don't get it. It's a testament to the JQ psyop that's being played on our population right now, that people can be like, yeah, man, this Cuban guy and this guy of Lebanese descent are really smart and really patriotic for America, unlike the white people in the Republican Party. It's like, yeah, dumbass, the amount of chloroform in your skin doesn't mean shit. Oh, what a fucking revelation that is.
Is it chloroform or melanin?
Chloroform. No, okay, not chloroform. That's chlorophyll, more like borophyll. Carlos is a real white man. In Cuba, I guess you are. You're certainly not Afro-Cuban, although maybe in spirit.
What was it that they used to call me? Hernan Cortez, all the ultra-leftists. Okay, I have like 2 black grandparents. I'm technically a quadroon by like racist Southern science. I would have still been like a 3/5 human back in the day, but I guess Hernan Cortez. Let's go.
I'm like 1/64th black. I shouldn't say that because now I have no chance of winning over the white nationalists and making them less stupid, because they'll think I'm impure. But my great-great-great-grandma married a free black American, so technically
Can I tell you
am
something?
black.
Can I tell you something as your best friend?
Yeah.
You should not fix the tooth because it's better for recruiting the Southern white.
It's
we
true.
got to send you down into the South.
It's true. I got my appointment in like 5 days.
Cancel
I got to keep it. Cancel it. That'll save me some money as well. Keep the mullet. Keep the tooth. We'll be getting the southern white real soon.
You just got to work on your accent. I was doing it today. I was passing by KFC and I was like, "Can I get some mashed potatoes?" And I guess, and then I got to the front and I got scared to keep it going. So I was like, "Oh, thank you so much."
We could use some help in the South. I'll start doing videos in a Southern accent. Hello, my name is Billy Bob Gilligan. I am a communist. I'm going to take up arms against Jeffrey Epstein. But speaking of that, guys, we have the best video the party has ever produced coming out soon. I won't spoil it. That's all I'll say. The best video the party has ever produced will be dropping soon. So stay tuned for that. Follow ACP Main on X. We've also been killing it with putting out statements recently. We've gained like 10,000 followers at least just by putting out things that our party believes, because our message is really popular. People are just scared of the word communism, but we're working on it. Cuba has survived persecution for 67 years, proving that communism works. Absolutely. And it's like, it's unbelievable, really, when you think about it. And you understand, like, for Lenin, This is why he predicted the fall of the Hungarian Revolution in 1917, I believe, because he said that the number one death knell for socialism is isolation. If you're isolated and you don't have allies in other socialist countries that can help you and trade with you, like you're basically going to get encircled by imperialism and overthrown. And here's Cuba, this small island country right under the nose of the United States, without the help of the Soviet Union since the 90s, still surviving, still with a communist one-party state, still providing their people health care and food under the worst conditions imaginable. It's truly an amazing story, and it'll be tragic if Cuba falls. I don't know what'll happen. We're ready for anything, but the spirit of Che is still alive in Cuba. It's still red. And that alone, the fact that they've made it this long, is an amazing achievement.
Yeah, man. The metaphors that I always use is like you tie a fucking swimmer's hands and feet. Who are you to criticize their swimming form? The fact that they didn't drown, the fact that they're still going and still swimming, is an achievement in its own right.
It is. It is. Testament to Che and Fidel too. Fidel, especially in the 90s, the special period, it's amazing what he was able to do. Yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about Che a lot lately because when I'm reading about the US dollar and stuff, I'm like China obviously had to do what they had to do to develop with US dollar hegemony and super imperialism being what it is. But Che was big on moving past money and markets and profit incentives completely. And I do think that should be the ultimate goal. The way that money has this perverse effect on, human morality and human action and our relationships to one another. At some point we should reach such abundance that we don't need a profit-based economy. And that might sound a little crazy when you're talking to people who don't know about communism, but I don't know, maybe it doesn't. Maybe people would like to hear that. Because everyone knows that money is the root of all evil, except the JQers. They think it's the Hebrews.
This is why you have to combine. I forget who was it in American history. Was it Washington that said that you needed constant revolutions? You need to combine Washington with Mao. You need constant cultural revolution, so that at one level you focus on the development of the forces of production, but as your society gets richer and richer, you always insert a cultural revolution to keep people's heads on what's important and not developing, these materialistic, not in the philosophical sense, these materialistic tendencies of drawing pleasure and enjoyment and purpose in life from shallow forms of consumption and accumulation.
Yep.
Maushington. That's so perfect.
Maushington based.
He wanted to make Mao wanted to make George Washington, or I think did make George Washington, a posthumous member of the Communist Party of China.
That would be a nuke against some of our haters. I usually don't debate with these psycho leftists anymore, but I was arguing with them about George Washington this week and the positive side of him. So should send me a source on that.
I'm trying to look for it. I know I cited it in one of my books.
Well, Carlos is looking for that. By the way, this guy's a right winger, but he's the smartest right winger ever, and I'm working on him, trying to get him to our side. We become, I don't know what you would call it. We DM about super imperialism and what we're reading. But here's this tiny girl leading a march in Iran, and he said, this is what actual women's liberation looks like, free from Zionism, liberalism, and degeneracy. So it kind of relates to what we were saying earlier about the hijab being an act of resistance and, resisting this OnlyFans commodification of human sexuality and resisting the commodification of women in a Muslim, Quran-based style. Should have brought that up earlier, but I couldn't find it. Did you find it?
No, I couldn't find it.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking the search engine is stupid. It's like literally looking up if Washington was a member of the CPC, and it's like, no, he fucking wasn't. You idiot. I'm asking something else, but
Yeah, classic. Yeah, Doomernet is actually really smart. He's read Super Imperialism, and he actually reads a lot of literature. I don't understand why he has these like right-wing tendencies. He should totally be in the ACP. So hopefully, eventually, just got to keep working on these people.
you also just finished the first volume of Theories of Surplus Value. How was that?
Oh, it was good. It was good. It is helpful for my article that I'm writing. It led right into super imperialism. By the time I was done with it, I was ready for something a little more modern, like an analysis like Hudson's of how the system has evolved since that time. But there's a lot in it. And this is where I think I can add to Hudson in talking about the origins of paper money. Because really, I don't want to give everything away. I want people to read my essays because they'll go more in depth. But like, this whole dollar hegemony and the dollar-based system of super imperialism starts as soon as the banks start printing paper money. From the very beginning, the money was supposed to be tied to some kind of tangible commodity like gold. But of course, these bankers are greedy and want to make as much profit as possible. So they start giving out more paper forms of money than what they actually have in gold. From the very beginning, they were doing that. And it was only a matter of time before things spiraled out of control with all of the endless war spending. And World War I was that breaking point, where basically you had all of these debts that could no longer be repaid because they were being spent on bombs, value that literally incinerates upon its usage, rather than creating more value so that the European countries could no longer pay back these debts. And Marx and Engels saw the development of that system and the financial system in its early stages. So Theories of Surplus Value has a lot about that, and it also has a lot about productive versus unproductive labor, which is interesting. Are you okay? You have Erica Kirk eyes right now.
I'm reading a comment that's like literally making me schizophrenic. 50% Iranian, born in LA, 25% Venezuelan, born in Miami. Oh, okay. Okay.
Currently living in
I'm trying to make sense of it. And it was like that Africa Core video where it's like America's Got Talent. And the guy was like, my mom died before I was born. And the judge was like, what? I was trying to make sense.
I love when people say they're watching from a kibbutz in Israel. It's so funny. If any of you are telling the truth about that, send us money. Okay, I'm tired of my taxes paying for your stupid kibbutzes. Communism has never worked except in Israel.
That completely like made me lose my train of thought because I was gonna reply to what you were saying, and I can't even remember what I was gonna say.
That's Bernie Sanders' ideology. Communism has never worked except in Israel.
Yeah. We have someone here. Very interesting quote. The democratic revolution grows directly into the socialist revolution and thereby becomes a permanent revolution. Leon Trotsky. We actually have an image of who sent this. There he is.
Thank you for the 5, Danny. Diddy Shaw.
There we go. Thank you so much.
Man, Trotsky's theories were so schizo. It's just like, we need world revolution. And Stalin's like, yeah, dumbass, but we got to build it here first. Like, if anyone was trying to create world revolution, it was the Soviets. They almost went overboard with it at times, which is how the Chinese developed this theory of Soviet social imperialism, which I don't agree with. But if you look at, like, the Tudeh party in Iran, that's a good example of, like, the Soviets, like, being over-ambitious and trying to get involved in Iran. And even with some of the East European countries, I would argue they should have allowed it to develop a little bit more organically. Even though those countries were obviously much better under socialism. I have a book I got my girlfriend on the history of the Polish Communist Party. It's like quite rare. I'm really excited to read it with her once I finish Super Imperialism, learn a little bit more about the internal dynamics of the East European socialist countries. By the way, oh, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
One of my favorite Marxist theorists from the Soviet Union wasn't Poland. He was the head of the Marx Engels Lenin Institute over there. Adam Schaff. One of the first books on Marxism I ever read. Marx's Concept of Man from him. He was the dissertation director of Lester Kolakowski, the famous Polish guy that wrote like a 3-volume book on Marxism, attacking Marxism, that some people have said it was like the reason for the Soviet Union's fall. That's how much they hype it up. But yeah.
This Torta Pounder says the RCP are now saying they condemn Chinese imperialism. That's how far trots have gone. Yeah, dude. Here's a funny story. When we were tabling at Iowa State, we had some RCP guys come up and they were like excited. You could tell they were like, had probably been told by their leadership how evil we are, but they were like the cool bad boys, you know. They were like scared but interested in talking to us. And this libertarian guy came up and I just destroyed him on the issue of China. Like, he was babbling nonsense and it wasn't very hard. It was pissing me off. I was like shaking because I was so mad at how retarded this kid was. But anyways, it was like destruction. And before long, maybe it was RCA. I don't know, you know, what the hell's the difference? There's 700 different trot parties. I don't care. But we had like a giant circle of RCA, RCP people around us asking us questions, engaging, asking us if we had a presence on campus. I don't know if any of them ended up joining, but they were so interested in us. And they were all like, oh, we love Midwestern Marx. We support China. We're just in this party because we don't know what else to do. And I'm like, bro, we have a big presence here in Iowa. What are you doing? Like, join up. And then U.S. Olympian Kyvan Gadsden came up, who wrestles at Iowa State, and saw my ears and started talking to us and asking about wrestling and communism. So we had like 10 college-age trots trying to join ACP and a U.S. Olympian in wrestling at our table. It was the best tabling event ever. I got to go back there. But is RCP same as RC? I don't know. There's a hilarious infographic of trot orgs splitting.
That's crazy. That's what happened to me in 2024 at the Platypus International Convention, which, by the way, I'm going back to speak this year.
Nice.
Hope I don't get like fucking Abraham Lincoln.
John Wilkes Booth.
Supposedly, yeah. Is there a conspiracy around that one? Is there anyone that doesn't think it's book?
There is.
Okay, good. But in any case, I thought everyone was going to hate me, but when I finished the panel, it was strange because I was with Howie Hawkins, who was the candidate for the Green Party, super, super pro-Ukraine. But not exaggerating, most people came to me afterwards to chat with me, shake my hand, some to take pictures. There was some that I signed the purity fetish for. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, those platypus people aren't too bad. It's been like a pressure valve for the left, basically, for a while to criticize the left. Here's the infographic, by the way. This is why I can't keep track of trot organizations. This is all the splits that trot organizations have undertaken because of ideological differences. How we talk to that's good. Yeah.
Oh, he was so mad at me.
This is before. Did you call him Howie Warhawkins to his face?
I told him that his whole generation of people were all feds. I did the whole, like, Thomas Braden said, you guys are the compatible left, and you guys are all funded by the feds, and you're basically like feds. He was like, Thomas Braden was a lefty. I knew him. You fucking signed your paycheck.
He like cooed the Green Party too. He like basically seized power from the Greens.
Yeah, very sad.
Best flow chart I've ever seen. Yeah, it's pretty funny. And that's even before RCA, RCP. One of them's like the European version, I think. I don't know.
Trots is going to be such a fucking philosophy pill joke. Trots move like rhizomes. like the Lusian rhizomes. That's what they're rhizomatic. The idea is that they're going all over the place without any logic, and you have one organization that just breaks apart into a million pieces and reconstitutes and deterritorializes, reterritorializes, and just keeps going into 3 million organizations.
It's true. It really is true. By the way, yeah, we're both getting jacked. We've been lifting hard. I learned how to do a lat spread finally. Because dude, I didn't know, like, I thought bodybuilding was just lifting hard, but there's all the, like, the posing is almost like a dance. Like, there's so much technique to the posing that you don't realize. So if I'm gonna do it, if I'm gonna win a natty competition, I gotta get better at that part.
I think Eddie's ready to win, man. He's fucking gotten insanely big. He's taken the dedication of wrestling and applied it to bodybuilding, and it's dope. It's really dope. I can't wait until he fucking wins, and we just put Eddie on the fucking bodybuilding speedo, all oiled up, looking like fucking Haas or something, posing double bicep, front double bicep on stage, and just put that on ACP main. Member of the executive board, Eddie Liger Smith, wins.
That would be sick.
Olympia.
I'm cramping every time I flex right now because my workout today was insane. You got to eat a lot too. Like, I'm not having a hard time staying skinny. That's easy for me. I actually like cardio, but you have to eat a ton. So keeping up with that has been maybe the hardest part. But yeah, it'd be cool. I just don't really want to oil up and get in a Speedo, but I'll do whatever it takes to win. I've already gotten in a singlet, and wrestled other half-naked men in front of people, so it's not that much of a difference. This is what I was talking about with Israel as communist, by the way. This is the ideology of Bernie Sanders right here, who actually lived in an Israeli kibbutz and said it shaped his politics.
Jesus.
Socialism has never worked except in this place. Welcome to Israel!
You've got to be kidding me. These guys are repackaging Zionism, trying to make it appear progressive and then selling it to you on TikTok. Come be a settler in communist Israel, where we share all the houses after we force the Palestinians out of them. Communism is when we shoot missiles at places where children are playing, apparently. And this is a common tactic of Zionists when they're trying to sell apartheid and settler colonialism to Westerners who have bankrolled it forever. The U.S. gives Israel at least intersectional Zionism. Where did I find that article at 20? $3 billion a year. They've also talked about things like intersectional Zionism or labor Zionism, as if a settler colonial project forcing people off their homes and enforcing an apartheid could be progressive or even communist. What an absolute joke, dude. Free Palestine.
Based.
It's a tricky thing, that labor Zionism. They'll trick you into thinking it's a socialist project. Oil up and win the women vote. Absolutely. Oil me up. Oil me up. That's another.
Women don't like bodybuilding. That's bodybuilding, like the people, it's just a bunch of dudes.
Yes, it's true. Did you guys know that Haz's dad is actually Nasser, the great Nasser al-Sambadi from the 90s? Little known fact. But
I had a dream about that one day. And I had a dream I was with Haz at his crib, and his dad was there, and it was Nasser, the bodybuilder with glasses. And I told Eddie about it, and it was before Eddie got into bodybuilding, and he thought it was like Nasser, the Egyptian politician, but inflated like a bodybuilder.
I love Nasser, dude. He should have. I love Dorian Yates. He's like one of my favorites, but Nasser should have beat him in 97 or 98. Yeah. Dorian had a torn bicep or torn tricep completely and torn bicep, and he won because of his fame and notoriety.
Nasser, have you seen him in interviews?
Yeah, he's really smart.
So fucking. He's got like Kanye.
There's Haz. This is Haz is streaming. That's so funny, dude. He's so huge.
That's what the executive board of the ACP should look like in 10 years.
We
juice
all
up
need to be that big.
so that the next convention we just look like 90 bodybuilders. Yeah.
Nasser said Dorian Yates was 6 months pregnant. Free Cesar Chavez. Thank you, Comrade Ginger. Okay.
What happened with Cesar Chavez? I haven't followed. Have you followed that at all?
Someone asked us our opinion on it earlier. I haven't followed. He got accused of like sexual abuse retroactively or something. I don't know.
I don't know either, man.
Who knows? Like, it could be true. But he's been dead for a while. All I know is that Cesar Chavez has faced more repercussions from beyond the grave than Trump has. And he's the sitting U.S. president and was on Epstein's island in private jet. So that's all you got to know. I don't know what the allegations are. I can look into it if people really want me to, but yeah, he was accused of abusing girls for years, I guess. Yeah, who knows? Steroids suck. Yeah, that's why I want to do natty. I don't want to shoot my natural testosterone and make myself infertile and become an American Psycho like Clavicular.
What about peptides?
I don't know if those are legal in natural federations, but I do think there's a lot of benefits to peptides, especially for injury recovery. I know some people who used them and had a lot of good results.
Sam Sulek said he recovered for his recent show with peptides.
Yeah. One of my friends like completely destroyed his shoulder because some doctor gave him an unnecessary surgery that he didn't need and clipped his nerve and he couldn't lift his shoulder. And the peptides have gotten him to the point where he can wrestle again. He's not competing or anything anymore, so it's, nothing illegal about it. But
they almost did that to me my junior year. I had the bright idea of like running hills with cleats and a weighted bag tied with a rope, and it fucked up the heel of my foot. And I went to like a Cuban doctor in Hialeah that you could tell was, as we would say in Spanish, por la izquierda, which means like half legal clinic. And the guy said, your heel is fractured in 300 pieces. I'm gonna need to operate it, and it's gonna be $10,000. And I was like, all right, I can't do that. So I got a second opinion. I went to the doctor that diagnosed Kanye West as that type of and he told me there's literally nothing wrong, just like rest for 2 days, and after 2 days it was fine, no surgery. But they wanted to open me up and fuck up my heel.
it's crazy, dude. Labrum surgeries, don't get labrum surgery. It's a scam.
I was recommended to get it, never got it because I ripped it 360.
There's better things you can do to recover. I've never seen it work with any of my athletes. I tell them straight up not to get it. Meniscus surgery can sometimes work, but sometimes you just need to let it heal. And then the most obvious one is C-sections, which are more dangerous for the mom and the kid, but they make more money. So the percentage of C-sections goes up and up and up and up every year. And it's strictly because of money. And this is known. Like, this is there have been like very mainstream medical studies on it that I looked into when I was studying healthcare administration.
I did actually get.
Don't trust your doctor, folks. Do not trust your doctor. Look into it yourself before you get any procedures.
The meniscus one, they told me I had fucking flipped it. I had turned second base running on my like third game in a fucking tournament, and my legs were just cooked by that point. My meniscus flipped and I could barely walk, and I ended up getting that one operated. And I also got my elbow freshman year. I have a fucking 9-inch screw, for those that don't know, in my fucking elbow. I still have it. Never took it off.
Tommy John?
No. It was just that the bone wouldn't heal. We tried waiting like 6 months to see if it healed naturally, and it didn't. So they just fucking shoved the screw in there.
It was a Jewish doctor.
It was a Jew- My dad would always fuck with me and tell me that that I should be careful with lightning because it's gonna strike me because of the metal screw, and to be careful at airports.
We should tell people about your dad's medical theory surrounding melatonin. That's one of the best I've ever heard. Carlos's dad doesn't need to sleep. For those who don't know, he's superhuman.
Because the effect that melatonin produces the effect of sleeping. So you don't have to sleep. Just take a bunch of melatonin and stay awake. And that's like as if you slept. He hasn't slept in 7 days. And he's still kicking, you know, so maybe he's right. Who knows?
He might be onto something there.
I've been dying for him to stream. If he just starts streaming and developing a bunch of medical conspiracy theories, I'd be so happy.
He does need a Twitch account, dude. It'd be.
Oh my God.
I'd watch it every day.
Yes.
Okay, so here's Drewski, the comedian, posted this and said, "This is how conservative women act."
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
How about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is necessary. We are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible. Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic pop cup. Yes, everything organic.
Three, 7. Oh, Hannah, you good? 4, 3, 2. Hold your chest lifted. We're gonna lift.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes. Because they are the ones who mattered most.
Get on your.
It's so good.
Oh my God, Jesus. Okay.
That Erica Kirk line about white men actually pissed me off because I work with kids, and you know, I work with a lot of like really disenfranchised black kids from like really rough situations. It's like, especially white men. Shut up, you stupid bitch. You never had to work a day in your life because your parents were intelligence. Talking about how we need to protect white boys more than black boys, especially white boys. Shut the hell up.
That's one of the fucking funny. Drewski is so funny, but and the reception it's getting from like the fucking woke right wingers. Oh, but if we did blackface, fuck you, bitch.
It's the legalized comedy. Yeah, it's those guys. It's I did a video on it and it's getting suppressed probably because it's not super original, and I played Drewski's video, but making fun of the woke right wingers. I've been saying for years, or not years, but like for the last year, the only like liberals have kind of given up on the woke thing. It's more like dark woke Kyle Kalinske style now. The real wokes nowadays are the Zionists and conservatives.
Yeah.
All these conservatives, they don't realize the hypocrisy. Like, this is classless. I can't believe that you would make fun of her when her husband died. Blah, 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 blah. You were the people accusing the left of making comedy illegal for the last year. You didn't shut the hell up about it. And now you're doing the same thing. And you're too literally like brain dead to realize the hypocrisy.
And comedy always wins in the end.
It does.
Comedy wins with the Kirk. We were against like mocking it and all that stuff, but we are Charlie Kirk.
I've seen the Drewski
took on a life of its fucking own, and no one is stopping it. It's impossible to stop. And sometimes comedy wins. It beats everyone.
I made a video the other day. It had nothing to do with Charlie Kirk, and this comment got like 10,000 likes. This guy said, "What is Charlie Kirk's opinion on this? I haven't heard from him in a while." And it was like Charlie Kirk wearing a dog collar like this.
That's like the skit, the Conan skit. Jeffrey, the financier, the New York financier. It's been a while. I haven't talked to him since like 2020. How's he doing? He's dead? No.
No.
No way.
Hold the phone.
Hold the fort.
Hold the fort. Hated
It says
Jews.
he hated Jews. This is what happens when Eddie and I have the same algorithm. All the same jokes come to mind.
You guys know what we're talking about? Hold on, before I play this video, let me just
420.
Let me just play this quick. It's so good.
Austrian-born German politician. I know Addison would love this segment.
He would.
Comrade
Comrade
Addison, I don't know if you're
shout
aware of
out.
it, was 420, and so it was a madhouse over there.
It's April 20th?
No, 420. Yeah, it was April 20th, but 420. You know 420.
No, what's that?
How do you not know? You've never heard of 420? Well, it's a big deal. I mean, it's real popular in the culture right now, and everybody's wearing 420 shirts, and you see 420 bumper stickers, and everyone's talking about it. 420 is a code term used primarily in North America that refers to the consumption of cannabis, and by extension, a way to identify oneself with cannabis subculture. Observances based on the number 420 include smoking cannabis around the time 4:20 p.m. as well as on the date April 20th.
No, what date is that? What year?
This was around 1970.
No, this.
Anyway, a widely discussed story says that a group of teenagers in San Rafael, California, used the term in connection to a fall 1971 plan to search for an abandoned cannabis crop that they had learned about.
420 was the birthday of Austrian-born German politician and the leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, a fellow went by the name of Adolf Hitler. But this guy, there's a picture of him. Adolf Hitler, very compelling kind of a figure. Odd-looking duck. There's something about his eyes. Hypnotic. His eyes are almost entirely black. He was a decorated veteran of World War I. And he joined the war. Hold the fort. He hated Jews.
I didn't even know he was sick.
Oh yeah, he died. I didn't even know he was sick. I cut it off before that. Oh, that's so funny. No, 420 is not a Nazi meme. It's something people use to celebrate smoking weed and playing video games all day.
I'm surprised they haven't made it a Nazi meme.
Yeah, true. Anyways, here's me responding to some of the right-wing backlash to Drewski that is getting absolutely ratioed and trashed right now, thank God.
Skit mocking Erica Kirk, yeah, this might be the funniest thing he's ever done.
is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
How about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
I can't stop laughing at the clip of Erica Kirk dancing to T Grizzly. That is so funny. And what makes it even better is all of the conservative people melting down about it. Is this a joke? You think this is funny? Making fun of Erica Kirk? You disgusting piece of you-know-what. And then it's a picture of Elon Musk saying, go fuck yourself. They're so corny, bro. You're a disgusting piece of you-know-what. Okay, Grandpa. Oh, you mean this Elon Musk? Mr. Legalized Comedy. Oh.
The left wanted to make comedy illegal, you know? Like, you can't make fun of anything. So then it was like, comedy sucks. It's like, nothing's funny. You can't make fun of anything. It's like, legalized comedy.
These people are the biggest.
most fucking cringe person
in the world. So cringe, bro. Legalized. You can't make fun of anything. Like a meme. World, dude. Also, this guy had me blocked, and I don't even know who he is, so W. Shout out to Drewski for legalizing comedy. Yeah.
Don't let anyone disenfranchise you because you're a young man, especially a young white male man. Don't ever let anyone talk down to you. You
You guys seen the dream? I don't know how that's not getting more views. It must be because I use copyrighted material. Funny though.
Did you see the guy that was like a fucking politician and took a picture with Drewski and pretended it was Eric Kirk? He was at CPAC.
No.
Oh my god,
that's funny as hell.
I think I liked it. I hope I didn't like it with the ACP account.
Retweet it.
It's the one non-ACP tweet we have up there. Oh my god.
There must have been a bunch of like independents and people who infiltrated CPAC. I know the tickets are expensive, but like those people cheering when they said impeach Trump, like that's not the rich donor base. That's clearly more
comedy
people. By the way, thank you, Helgenus Victor. My cousin is in debt, barely has enough to live on. My family tried to help her, but she cut all ties because she is a Malay fan. We don't share views, especially for me being red gummy beans. Oh my god. I'm sorry for your cousin. But all I have to say is just send her this. Will Argentina become the world's first fourth world country? Oh, that sucks for her. Oh, anyway, I've noticed Erica Kirk is literally becoming Erica's girlfriend Heidi. Pretty much. Thank you for those Argentinian dollars, even though Malay is making them worthless. Appreciate you. All right, I got one more video. This is my friend Louis. We've been buddies for a while and mutuals on TikTok. He's so funny.
This is a real post from Elon Musk. My son Saxon is so based that he would just order milk when we went to dinner in LA. This would always stun the waitstaff, as they had never heard anyone actually order milk. He also unironically ordered a cheeseburger at a very uptight sushi restaurant that doesn't even allow you to order supplemental soy sauce. When the waiter recovered from this request to reply that they don't have cheeseburgers, Saxon said, "Fine, I will have a hamburger." And you might be thinking, okay, cringe guy posting a story about his kid. That kid is 20.
Oh my god.
These are the consequences of Elon Musk being your dad. This is a real post from Elon Musk.
He's a fucking billionaire. A guy like that. Comedy's legal now. He's got billions of dollars. How does that make you feel? You poor
He's the
American
smartest man alive, bro.
If you're a working class dude that actually has a sense of humor and you're drinking your Budweiser right now, or you're an actual patriot and you're drinking Coors Banquet, that guy's a billionaire. And he's just hanging out fucking owning X and saying a bunch of cringe shit. He's getting richer and richer, and you're getting poorer and more in debt.
Yes, sir. Well, ready to call it a day? We almost went for 2 hours.
As ready as SpongeBob is to go into the Krabby Patty.
Aye, Mr. Krabs. Well, thanks for hanging out with us today, folks. This was a good stream. Make sure you like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. Patreon.com/MidwesternMarks. Thank you for everything. acp.us/join. Yeah. Any last words, Carlos? Oh, thank you, Helga. Oh, I need more stories about your family. This is too good. My father literally wanted me to message Elon in the hopes he would give me a job because I knew how to install Windows. It's a good strategy.
Bro, that's like my dad wanted me to contact the Pope when I was applying to grad school to ask to ask for a recommendation. Like, tell him you're like in favor of social justice and you're a Catholic. I'm like, all right, fuck.
Did you?
Fuck no.
Shoot him an email. Pope@Vatican.com.
I Googled for like 3 seconds, what is the Pope's email? And I couldn't find anything. So I quit.
That might be the strat. It might be. That's how we can get funded. All right, everybody. Thank you for the hilarious comments and being good sports and being good comrades. We will see you on the next one.
Stand up, oppression, for the tyrants fear your might. Don't cling so hard to your possessions, for you have nothing if you have no right. Let racist ignorance be ended, for respect makes the empires fall. Freedom is merely privilege extended, unless enjoyed by one and all. So come, brothers and sisters, for the struggle carries on. The International unites the world in the song. So comrades, come rally, for this is the time and place. The international ideal unites the human race. Let no one build walls to divide us, walls of hatred nor walls of stone. Come greet the dawn and stand beside us. We'll live together or we'll die alone. In our world poisoned by exploitation, those who have taken, now they must give. And end the vanity of nations, we've but one earth on which to live. So come, brothers and sisters, for the struggle carries on. The International unites the world in the song. So comrades, come rally, for this is the time and place. The international ideal unites the human race. And so begins the final drama, in the streets and in the fields. We stand unbowed before their armor, we defy their guns and shields. When we fight, provoked by their aggression, let us be inspired by life and love. For though they offer us concessions, change will not come from above. So come, brothers and sisters, for the struggle carries on. The International unites the world in a song. So comrades, come rally, for my dear.